Allison Lenz. I'm here at Training to be Balanced in Jackson Hole. And one of the more common pieces of equipment that people have in their homes is a foam roller. So today I'm going to take you through an intermediate class with the foam roller. Just please be in mind that you do need to be medically cleared to participate in physical activity. So if that's all systems are a go-go, let's get started. All right, so we're going to start with what we call DAMP here at Training to be Balanced, and that's for Dynamic Active Movement Prep. Today, as we go through this class, just be aware that your magic number is going to be 8. So we'll be doing 8 reps of everything, and some exercises, it will be 4 per side. So we're going to start with an exercise we call Around the World. You're going to take an athletic stance, slight bend in your knees, and I want you to think about holding onto the end of the foam roller. You're going to just give it a nice little squeeze, right? It doesn't need to be a death squeeze, but a nice little squeeze as you go around. And this is just about, right, finding that mobility, finding that biggest reach you can. We're going to go 4 to each side, so I've done 2 to each side. And then these next 2, I'm just going to rotate to the side because I want you to see what's happening in the back space. So as I reach in the back space, I've turned on my glutes, I've turned on my abs, and I'm not collapsing into my lower back, right? So I really want to protect my lower back as I go in that back space. I'm almost at a hinge from my hips, right? So there's our Around the World. Next, we're going to move into a reverse lunge remix. So we're going to find that nice reverse lunge. We're going to find 90-90. Right? So I'm thinking about this front heel being down, this back glute being on, and my legs are at 90 degrees. I'm going to take that foam roller again, just giving it a gentle squeeze. I'm going to rotate over that front leg and back, rotate over that front leg and back. That's 2. Like I said, we're either going to be doing 4 or 8. That takes us to 4. Now we're going to take that foam roll up and overhead, and I want you to think about reaching up and over that front leg and back, and up and over that front leg and back. Now I didn't specify what leg you should take forward, but let's just keep in mind what leg you did take forward, so when we repeat this, you can get the other leg. Next, we're going to sit down on the floor. We're going to keep that foam roller, and we're going to find a nice comfortable sitting position with our legs slightly bent. Again, just a gentle squeeze on that foam roller. Thinking about those shoulders staying relaxed. You're going to take a nice big inhale in. Exhale, really scoop those abdominals, belly button into spine. I'm going to take you halfway down. When you reach that halfway point that you can maintain, you're going to rotate, a quarter rotation and back, and then over to the other side. As you're doing this, and then nice big breath in, exhale, recover. And again, we're going to repeat. This will be 8 total. Nice big inhale in. Exhale, scooping those abdominals. Rotate. Back center. Rotate. As you go for those rotations, right, I really want you to think about your lower body staying still, right? So one femur or knee does not reach past the other, that they stay nice and level. Nice. We have 3 down. Going into our 4th. Again, checking in with those shoulders, that you're not shrugging them, that you're not holding tension in them. Halfway through, breathing as you go through this. Nice big inhale, exhale, recover. 3 more. Thinking about really kind of wringing out that rib cage. Or another way you can think about it is the bottom of your rib cage reaching for the opposite hip. Right? So I'm finding that rotation through my thoracic spine or my mid spine, not my lower back. All right, this is our last one. Recover. And then we're going to switch into a side plank. So I'm going to have you put down that foam roller. Let's start with our right side down. Hopefully I remember that for a second side. And here you can either stack your feet or you can put the top foot in back, right? So we can do a little split stance. Before you lift those hips up, I want you to make sure that elbows are underneath shoulders. You can use your free hand to just give you a little extra support as you find that nice side plank. But once you're up, I want you to take that hand up to the ceiling. And we're gonna do 8 reach throughs to each side. So I'm really gonna think about taking that arm, reaching it all the way through to the back, right? So my hips are still lifted, my chest is now rotating down to the ground, and then I'm gonna restack vertical. That's 8. Here we go. For 7 and 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Nice. Let those hips come down. And then we're going to take that foam roller, come up to standing. I was teaching this in our classes last week before, the apocalypse came. And I was joking that the hardest part about this exercise is getting the foam roller up behind your back. So if you're finding that you're struggling with it a little bit, don't worry, you're not alone. So we're taking that foam roller behind your back. And I want you to feel 3 contact points. So behind your head, your thoracic spine or that mid-back, and then that sacrum. And I want to keep those 3 contact points. Now you notice that I'm kind of holding the foam roller on the top and the bottom, which I find is a little bit easier than trying to hug the outside, right? So then again, I'm just kind of gently squeezing it. I'm going to same side, the same arm that's up. I pick my right side. I'm going to think about that leg swinging back. So I'm going to think about that right hamstring reaching to the ceiling as I go into a nice single leg hip hinge and then recover back up to standing. And we're going to go for 4 on this side. 3. As I'm doing this, I am letting my supporting knee relax, and I'm slightly pulling back into the heel of my supporting leg. Now this is where it gets tricky. I have to get to the other side, so I might just let my arms come down and then flip it over, right? Left hand on top, right hand on bottom. Again, I wasn't lying when I said this was the hardest part of the exercise. So here we go. My left hand is high, so I'm going to think about that left hamstring reaching up to the ceiling. But if I struggled with it, chances are you might have struggled with it too, and you're grateful because now I'm not 2 beats ahead of you. Okay, one last one, really thinking about nice level hips, and then coming up to standing, letting that foam roller come down. All right, so we've gone through those 5 exercises, now we're just gonna repeat. So we're taking that foam roller, we're going for around the world. Nice big circle, so I'm letting my hips and my upper legs, really my lower body, counterbalance this reach. And again, as we go into that back space, I don't want anybody hanging out in that lower back, but lengthening out of that lower back as we go. So that's 4, we have 4 more, 4, and 3, and 2, last one. Nice. And then we went into that reverse lunge. So last time I took my right foot forward, this time I'm going to take my left foot forward. And I'm going to think about those 4 rotations up and over that front leg. I'm rotating. Again, shoulders are nice and relaxed. I'm thinking about that 90-90 with my legs. I'm thinking about anchoring through that front heel. And I'm thinking about squeezing that back butt cheek. Coming back center, taking that foam roller up and overhead, reaching up and over that front leg, right? And I want to make sure that I'm reaching over the front leg, not towards the back leg. So here we go. We have one more. Oh, balance, turn on my core. There we go. Nice. Taking the foam roller down, we're going to go for that roll down. So finding that nice, comfortable sitting position. We're going to think about that nice lengthened spine, scooping those abdominals. Right, now you can really see if I'm shifting in those femurs or knees. I don't want that to happen. Nice big inhale in. Exhale, come back up. 8 of these, and we're gonna repeat. Breathing through it, letting that breath help you. Finding that nice rotation in your spine. This is our 3rd one, starting left. And we'll do one more starting left. And then we'll take it over to the right side. So we're rolling down to the point that you can maintain. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you can always roll down a little bit lower. Right? If you're finding that you're having a hard time holding that or maintaining, maybe you don't roll down as much. And again, 2 more. Last one. After this, we have our side plank reach through. Last time I had my right elbow down, so this time I'm going to have my left elbow down. So I'm going to think about really stacking those ankles, My left elbow is underneath my shoulder. I'm gonna get those hips up. I'm really thinking about squeezing this bottom butt cheek, lifting this bottom waistline. Nice vertical shoulders. And then we're gonna take those shoulders. I'm gonna think about still hovering in this bottom waistline as I reach the arm through, and then come back to vertical for 8, and 7, and 6, and 5, 4, 3, 2 more, here we go, 2, woo, shaky, shaky, 1, let those hips come down. Last one for this is the airplane, right, that funky hand transition. So taking that foam roller behind our back, maybe I'll start with my left arm high, since that seems to be the side that my body doesn't like to do. Where's that bottom of the foam roller? What? Bam, got it. Hardest thing you're gonna do today, I promise. So I'll put this on a little diagonal so you can see what's happening, kind of side body and front body. So head's touching the foam roller, thoracic spine's touching the foam roller, sacrum's touching the foam roller. My left arm is high, so I'm gonna take that left hamstring up, slight bend in my knees, nice level hips, and then coming back up for 4, and 3, and 2, last one, and then I have to switch everything over, right? That funky transition. But for some reason, my right side is a lot easier than my left. I actually know why. Because it has to do with shoulder mobility. So here we go. My right hand's high, my left hand's low. But that's a discussion for another day. And I'll turn on that slight diagonal so you can see. So a nice relaxed bend in that knee, shifting slightly back into your heel. We're gonna go for 2 more. Last one. Nice, foam roller comes down. All right, 5 exercises down, 15 more to go. What? All right, so the next exercise that we're going to do is an exercise we call the Tootsie Roll. So we're gonna take the foam roller and we're gonna set it up underneath our ankles, and we're gonna be in a quadruped position. So underneath our ankles, and then I'm gonna make sure that my wrists are underneath my shoulders, my knees are underneath my hips. I'm gonna take a nice big inhale in. On my exhale, I'm gonna think about digging those ankles into the foam roller, and then I'm gonna lift my hips up to shoulder level. Now I wanna make sure that when I lift up my hips, my knees don't roll back, and mine did slightly, so I'm gonna draw those knees in so they're truly underneath my hips. I'm gonna hold for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then come back down. So we're gonna do that again, guess what, for 7 times. So here we go, nice big inhale. Exhale, dig your ankles into that foam roller. Knees are underneath hips, hips are level. For 2, 1, coming on down. And here we go, 6 more. Nice big inhale in. Exhale, thinking about those abdominals or that belly button, reaching up to the spine, reaching up to the ceiling. And back down. 5 more, nice big inhale in. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1, and back down. 4 more. For 4, 3, 2, 1, and back down. Tucking in with those shoulders that they're not starting to shrug up into your ears, or you're not going into a cat position. And we have 2 more. Nice big inhale in. Exhale, drive the back of those feet, those ankles into that foam roller. And 1 last one. Here we go. Nice. Knees can come down, then you're gonna switch the foam roller so you're laying on it, so it's going along your spine. So I'm just gonna rotate it this way, right? I'm gonna sit at the very edge of the foam roller. Scoot myself all the way forward because I need space for my spine to lay down. And I'll lay down. There we go. And we're gonna do a little upper ab curl. So this is kind of coming more from our Pilates repertoire. I'm gonna think about my breath helping me to bring one leg up into tabletop, and the other leg up into tabletop. Really thinking about those inner thighs zipping up. And here I do want you to do more of an imprinted spine with that lower back into the foam roller. Your hands stay down through this whole exercise. So taking a nice big inhale in, exhale, thinking about pushing something away with your fingertips, chin to chest, coming up into that nice upper ab curl. Take a nice big breath in, and then exhale, roll back down. And here we go. Nice big inhale in. Exhale, coming up into the upper ab curl, and back down. 2 down. 6 more to go. Here we go. Really thinking if you can pull that belly into your spine as you're doing this, trying to minimize those wibble wobbles as you come up. Halfway through. 4 more. Really thinking about keeping that lower back pressed into the ground. I don't know how you're doing, but my abdominals are starting to warm me up, getting roasty toasty. And one last one. Letting that foot find the foam roller again, letting one foot come down, let the other foot come down, and then just gently coming off that foam roller with control. We're gonna switch, we're still gonna stay on our back, right? But now we're gonna put that foam roller underneath our feet, right? And we're gonna go for some hamstring pulls. So I do want you to set it up so the foam roller's underneath your feet. And as you're doing this, I want you to think about your new base of support becoming your shoulders, right? So as you roll up, thinking about your shoulder blades being wide, I don't want anybody pinching their shoulder blades together. And I'd rather have palms up or pinky fingers down, right? So I'm kind of using the back side of this arm to help me with this. I'm gonna take a nice big inhale in. Exhale, I'm gonna scoop those abdominals. I'm thinking about that nice bilateral bridge, right? So I do want high hips, but not collapsing into my lower back. So I'm gonna think about those hips reaching for my ribs. I want nice parallel feet. As I send that foam roller away, I want toes pointing up to the ceiling and knees pointing up to the ceiling, and then I'm gonna draw it back in for 8, and 7, and 6, 5, hello hamstrings. 4, if you need to readjust your feet, go on ahead. Last one, right? Because sometimes that foam roller will kind of change how it rolls on your feet in the back of your calves, and that's fine. Just stop and readjust and then carry along and catch up with us. After our hamstring pulls, we're gonna do a little roll down with the leg extension. So I'm gonna sit up nice and tall, right? And again, if you don't need to use the foam roller for this, if you want to do it without the foam roller, just push it off to the side. That's totally fine. Hands are either going to reach out in front of you or they're going to hold onto the back of your thighs. So taking a nice big inhale in, you're going to scoop and you're going to send that foam roller away. You're going to roll down to the point that your shoulder blades are about to touch, but they don't quite touch. Taking a nice big inhale in. Exhale, scoop, come up and bend those legs. And that foam roller is a little bit far away from me, so I'm going to sneak it in a little bit. So it's more, my heels are more kind of to the front side of the foam roller. So again, nice big inhale in. Exhale, scooping, sending those legs long. Taking a nice big inhale in. Exhale, scoop, come back up, and let those knees bend in. 2 down, 6 more to go. Here we go. Again, if you have to use those thighs, I'd rather have you use those thighs than fall through or toss through your roll down. This will take us halfway through. We have 4 more. 3. 2. I keep on losing my foam roller. 1. Hopefully you're doing a little bit better than me. Nice. So after that, we have our single leg bridge. We're gonna, we're like treating you like a rotisserie chicken. Roasting those abs, roasting that posterior side. Right now you're like, the coach just called me a rotisserie chicken. Yes, I did. Here we go. So taking a nice big inhale in. Exhale, we're gonna do single leg bridges, but I'm gonna start with both feet on the foam roller in a bilateral bridge. I'm going to take that, let's start with our right foot, and reach it long, and here I'm trying to keep those knees in line and thighs in line and hips on the same level. Once I'm here, I'm gonna kick that leg up to the ceiling. I'm gonna kick for 8, and 7, and 6, 5, I don't care if you have a pointed foot or a flex foot, I just want energy through it. We're gonna go for 2. Last one. Foot finds the foam roller, and then we're gonna switch over to the other side. So really thinking about keeping those level hips as you take that other point of support away, and kicking for 8, and 7, 6, 5, 4, and 3, 2. Last one, let that foot find the ground. Taking a nice big inhale in, exhale, rolling down. Right, now you know what we're doing. We're just gonna repeat it. So we're back to our Tootsie Rolls. Oh, since the foam roller's on that side, I'll just flip around. So setting up that nice quadruped position, right? So that we have that underneath our ankles, wrists underneath shoulders. If for some reason you have sensitive wrists, you can always go up to your fists. That's always an alternative that you can do there. Taking a nice big inhale in. Exhale, thinking about digging the ankles into the foam roller, hovering those lower abs. And back down. Here we go. One more of many. No, we're not just doing 2 reps. Wouldn't that be lovely? The world was made of 2 reps. But now we're 3 reps in. We have 5 more to go. You'll make it. Here we go. And 4. And 3. Checking in with those knees that they haven't rolled back, right? That they're not back here, that they're truly underneath your hips. And last one. Nice, to our upper ab curls. This is where we're in tabletop on the foam roller. So taking that foam roller, sitting at the very end of it. I should have flipped over, showed you my good side. What? All right, here we go. Hands down by your sides. Using that breath to bring one leg up, the other leg up, finding that nice tabletop. Taking that nice big inhale in. Exhale, pushing those fingertips away, chin to chest, coming up. Holding for a breath and rolling back down. Going for 8, here we go. Again, if you do not want to do this on the foam roller, you can certainly do this on the ground with your feet up in tabletop or your feet down. It's just an upper ab curl. Really thinking about scooping those abdominals. Trying to get those shoulder blades off. Letting that belly be heavy. You can see as I'm doing this, I got some wiggle wobbles. I'm fighting for it a little bit. And I'm definitely getting roasty toasty. As I said, we're cooking the front side, now we're gonna cook the back side for a hamstring pull. So coming off that foam roller with control, we're just gonna switch it so that foam roller is underneath your feet, right? Starting in that bilateral bridge. Again, if you find that this is cramping hamstrings, right, stop, don't push through that cramp, stretch out that hamstring, or you can always just do bilateral bridges without the hamstring pull, on or off the foam roller. So here we go, nice big inhale in, exhale, scooping those abdominals, thinking about reaching along with those femurs, kneecaps, lengthen lower back, keeping kneecaps and toes up to the ceiling. We're going to go for 8 and 7. I'm losing my foam roller. Like I said, if you have to adjust, adjust. 6. Feeling that nice base of support in the back of my shoulders. Last time I got through all 8 with hardly any adjustments. It's an equipment malfunction. Or maybe it's an operator malfunction. I don't know. Rolling back down. I believe that was 8. And then we have these funky roll downs, right? With the extension and then the knee bend as we come up. So I'm going to challenge myself to come up to that. From a sitting position, working through that sticking point. Everybody has one. Some of them are just more sticky than others. So thinking about scooping those abdominals, sending those legs long. I am challenging myself to go to the very base of my shoulder blades. But that might not be the level that you are at today, which is fine. Again, if this is something that the foam roller just adds a lot of confusion and you find it hard, just put the foam roller out of the way and you're just gonna do some roll downs, right? Without adding that extra piece of equipment, challenging yourself not to fall down on the way down and not to have to toss yourself on the way up, right? That's what we're striving for, is to get rid of those clunky positions, those clunky transitions. I don't know how many we've done, so we'll do one more for good measure. Maybe it'll be lucky number 9, or maybe it'll be lucky number 7, I don't know. So those are your roll downs, and then we're gonna go to our single leg bridge with a kick. I'll stay here. Quick transition. So hands down, again, wide base of support in the shoulders, either pinky down or palms up. Taking a nice big inhale in, exhale. I'm gonna start with my left leg this time since I started with my right last time. Find that nice level hip. You're gonna keep those hips nice and level as you kick and bring it down for 7 and 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot finds the ground. If you need to come down and reset, reset. If not, other to the other side for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot finds the ground. Third time is the charm. Here we go again. We're back to our Tootsie Rolls. So flipping on over. Again, we're just roasting the front side, the back side, the front side. Making it nice and strong. So nice big inhale in. Exhale. Really trying to get those hips up to shoulder level. And back down. I'm giving you guys a little posterior side, so I know it might be my better side, but it might be a little fresh too. So I'm just gonna rotate a little bit. And back down. And again. We're in our third one. We're going for 8. If you are somebody who has hyperextended elbows, like myself, or actually this applies to everybody, I don't want anybody locking out in their elbows, right? You see those beautiful hyperextended elbows. So I do want you to think about having a soft bend, not a soft bend, but right, that we're not locking out that joint as we're doing this. We're going for 2 more. After this, we have our little upper out curls, laying down on the foam roller. My abs are feeling it. I don't know about you. Nice. So now I'm going to flip this around. Like I said, I wanted to give you my good side next time. Whoop, out of the frame. So down. Finding that stillness, bringing one leg up, bringing the other leg up. Taking a nice big inhale in. Exhale, scooping and breathing, rolling back down for 8. Chin to chest, thinking about pushing something away with those fingertips. 7, 6. Again, if you need to come off the foam roller, you can. 5, 4, and you can also choose to do this off the foam roller with your legs down. 2 more. After this, we have our hamstring pulls, right? Again, if you don't want to do those hamstring pulls, you can always give me a bridge on or off the foam roller. If you're finding that you're cramping in your hamstrings, right, we don't want that. And if you do cramp in your hamstrings, then stop and stretch it out. All right, so here we go. Hands down by your sides, taking that nice big inhale in. Exhale, nice high hips, but lengthening out of that lower back, not crunching into that lower back, sending it away for 8. And 7. And 6. Trying to release that tension in my fingers. 5, 4. Halfway through, now I have to do adjustment. And 3. 2, those of you at home doing this on carpet, it might be even more fun because you get a little extra resistance. Yeah, baby. Okay. After that, we have those funky roll downs, right? So I'm just going to take those legs and move them a little bit out. Let's see if I can get up into that starting position without having those legs come off the foam roller. All right, hands reaching out or on the back of your thighs. Again, I don't care if you use the back of your thighs. I'd rather have you use the back of your thighs and not fall through it or toss through it than not use your thighs. and just struggle with it all the way through. So here we go. As we roll down, we're sending those legs long, nice hollow body, belly into spine. Take a nice big inhale in. Exhale, scoop to come back up. Also checking in, right? We almost want to think about giving yourself a double chin. I know that's super sexy. So we're not holding tension in the front of that neck, trying to make this happen. And then also just checking in with those shoulders, right? That we're not overusing those shoulders to make that happen. I believe we're at 4. Those who take Pilates with me one-on-one know that my counts are debatable, but we get the job done. Last one, letting your breath help you. Those nice inhales, exhales. Nice. Last one, we have that little kick, right? Oh, see, I keep on trying to move away from you, and I guess I'm just being shy. So here we go. Pick a leg, any leg to start with. We're doing 8 on each side. Really thinking about that heel kind of pulling towards your sits bone to help stabilize that foam roller. As it's the supporting leg, we're gonna kick for 8, 7, 6, 5. Picture that you have level hips, right? That this hip doesn't drop down. 2, last one, let that foot find the foam roller, and then switching over to the other side. Here we go. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Foot finds the foam roller, and then rolling back down. Nice. Moving right along. We have our plank, right? So I'm going to put that back there. I'm going to put my shins on the foam roller, and I'm going to be on my forearm. So those of you who hang out with us at Training to Be Balanced, think of this as the foam roller version of our saw on their TRX, right? So I'm going to set up that plank. I'm going to think about squeezing my glutes, lifting my belly, shoulders away from my ears. I'm going to send myself back and then pull myself forward. As I send myself back, I don't want my hips to drop, right? So squeezing those glutes, lifting that belly are going to help. We're going to go for 6 and 5 and 4 and 3, 2, last one. Nice. Going for our roll downs. Again, this is one that you don't have to do. I'm out of the frame. This isn't one that you have to do on the foam roller. You can certainly do it on the ground because this can be a challenge. Although with all the ab exercises that we did in the last 5 exercises, those central nervous system should have turned on that core. So here I am. I'm reaching forward. Right, looks really similar to what we just did with our feet underneath the foam roller. Taking those arms, I just want you to reach up to the ceiling. Take a nice big inhale in. Exhale, scoop those abdominals. Come on up. Wow. Also, really thinking about anchoring through your feet. That doesn't pop off. So you might find as you get about here, you have a leg that wants to come off. Really think about trying to keep those legs down. 2. And as you come down, think about keeping those ribs knitted. I don't want anybody releasing, right? I want you to think about keeping those abdominals active. 3. Controlling that up. Controlling that down. 4. Again, if you have to use those thighs, I'd rather have that. Oh, that was actually kind of harder for me. 5. I wasn't prepared for it. But let's see if I can demonstrate that a little bit better. There you go. We're going for 2 more. If you're not doing this as quickly as I am, that's fine. Either just do 8 and then move on or pause, or take your time. I'd rather have you do it with quality instead of quantity, right? So if you're only on 4 right now and I'm moving on, that's okay. You can either pause or move on along with me. Leg pull up. Oh. I'm saying, oh, this is a challenge for me. This is a good one. This opens up all my tight areas, challenges me. So Here, you can either have your feet on the foam roller or you can take them down off the foam roller. That's fine. Either would work. Ideally, we want fingertips pointing towards our toes. If you have some really tight anterior shoulders and it's just not gonna go there, you can do fingertips pointing out. You're gonna think about lifting or sending those toes away, digging the back of the ankles into the foam roller, finding that nice reverse yoga plank. Here, if you can either just hold and breathe, or you're gonna take your leg and you're gonna kick it twice up to the ceiling. So we're gonna go kick, kick, and down. Kick, kick, and down. We're going for 3. And other side. And 2. And other side. Last one. Good, this is 4 each, not 8 each, huh? And then let those hips come down. Nice, you get a little bit of a stretch. So we're gonna go for a child's pose. And I actually really am gonna show you on my good side. My right knee doesn't love to bend, so my hips don't like to sink back on that side. So either thumbs up or palms up. And as you send that foam roller away, I want you to think about sitting back into those hips and then coming back up. And then I'm gonna think about shoulders relaxing. I'm gonna drop my chest through my biceps and coming back up. If you're somebody who has a knee, right, that doesn't love to bend all the way, you can come up a little bit higher, right? And you still can have those hips high, but you're still gonna get that thoracic extension by dropping that chest through and back up. We're gonna go for 2 more. Which I think takes us close to 8. Might be 7, might be 6, it might be 9. Nice, that was our child's pose. And then we're just gonna push that out in front of us. We're gonna do some swimming. So I'm gonna have you take that foam roller out in front of you. You're gonna have thumbs facing up. It's gonna be underneath your wrists. You're gonna think about pubic bone, hip bones down, right? And I do want you to start with your head down. I'm just keeping my head up so that you can actually hear what I'm saying, because I am not mic'd. So thinking about let me back up. Pressing the front of your pelvis into the ground. So thinking about that pubic bone, hip bones anchoring, I want that belly lifted, right? But when I lift my belly, I don't go into a posterior pelvic tilt, right? I'm just kind of hugging that belly up into my spine. Taking a nice big inhale in, I'm gonna lead with the top of my head. I'm gonna draw those shoulder blades down the back of my rib cage, and I'm gonna come up to a Pilates swan, a little baby swan, right? Let's start with the left hand and the right foot, and you're gonna lift and then drop, and lift and drop. We're gonna go, this would be 6 and 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, let that roll out. Nice. We're back to the beginning of these 5 exercises, 8 reps. Switch my numbers there. So here we go. We're in that plank. We're training to be members, balance members. Think of it as your T-Rex saw. So on the front of your shins, shoulders away from your ears, you're gonna saw, for 8. Think about squeezing those glutes, lifting that belly. 7, letting your breath help you. 6, 5, pushing back as far as you can maintain in the core. 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice. Come down. You're going to sit on that foam roller for your roll-ups on the foam roller. Right? So we did them on the ground with the foam roller underneath our feet, the last series of exercises. But now we're going to do them on the foam roller. Again, if you find this way too challenging or you're struggling with it, right, just come off the foam roller. You're still going to get a good ab workout. So either hands behind the thighs, right, so that we don't fall through, or reaching out in front of you. Hands can reach up to the ceiling. I'm going to scooch down because my spine's coming off the foam roller. I don't want you reaching overhead. I rarely teach that because I find most people just toss themselves up. They use that momentum. So I'm going to start reaching up to the ceiling. Nice big inhale in. Exhale, really thinking about, right, those heels kind of anchoring down into the ground. Whew. And rolling back down. Almost rolled too far off the foam roller. It's like Goldilocks. Too far up the foam roller. too far down the foam roller. Just right. There's two. And again, if you find this really challenging and you're going at a much slower pace than I am doing right now, that's fine. I'd rather have you have quality of movement and go slower than quantity of movement and try to keep up. Right? So if you're going super slow and really articulating through that spine, that's going to be much more benefit than going quick and just tossing yourself through it. I think I have two more. And again, if you really want to go for those 8 and you're going slower than me, wow, I can't talk and do this exercise at the same time. Then you can just pause the video, or I'm going to finish up my last one and you can just move right along with me. So I just did my roll-ups. Next, we're going to do that leg pull-up. So that's that reverse yoga plank. This is from Pilates repertoire. So ankles on the back of that foam roller, fingertips pointing forward. We're going to lift those hips up. You can either just stay here, right? Or you can go for the kicks. And if you can't get up here with your fingertips pointing forward, again, you can always have them point to the side. As I go for those kicks, I'm trying not to let those hips drop. We're just doing 4 to each side. We have 2 more. Really thinking about opening up those collarbones, not trying to hold any tension in the neck. Nice. Let those hips find the ground. And then we're going to go for a child's pose. 2 more exercises in this series. One is a stretch. And then we're going to move on. I think the last part is all stretching. I could lie. I don't know. I don't remember. I do have a giant cheat sheet in front of me, but I don't actually remember. We're going for 8 of these, really thinking about letting those shoulders relax, dropping that chest through your biceps. Again, if you want to be a little bit more up, you can get a little bit more thoracic extension. I know some of our members don't have that deep knee flexion, so this is always an alternative. Let's go for a last one. Oh, it feels too good not to hold it for a second. Nice. Pushing out to your belly, we're going back to our swimming. So setting it up, I want you to think about the front of your pelvis, right? That pubic bone, 2 hip bones, pressing into the ground to help support you on this. Should be kind of your anchor. So hands out, belly lifted, nice big inhale in. Exhale, coming up into the swan. I'm thinking about leading with the top of my head like I'm pushing a marble with my nose. I'm thinking about finding that fold at the base of my shoulder blades, that belly's pulled in to help support my lower back. I can think about my sacrum reaching long, tailbone. That's actually what I was trying to think of. We're gonna go for 8, 7, lifting opposites, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and roll back down. Woo! One last time through, and we're starting with our plank. I like this, because where the foam roller ends, I just flip over to the other side. So last time with these 5 exercises, and then we have 5 more to go, which mostly is foam rolling and stretching. So hang in there. Here we go. So nice forearm plank, right? Butt cheek squeezing, belly lifting, shoulders away from my ears. I am going as far as I can maintain on my core. So I don't want to see anybody get here and then drop down, right? So that's why we're always squeezing those butt cheeks so we can turn on the posterior side of our core. We're going to go for 4 and 5 and 6. You wish I was counting down, but I wasn't. 7 and 8. Nice. We're going to that foam roller roll up. Keep on getting myself out of the frame. I'm just going to scoot back in general. I've decapitated myself. All right. Luckily, not for real, just in the video world. All right. Rolling down. Articulating through that spine. Thinking about those feet finding the ground. Again, here, just on the foam roller as you need. Taking that nice big inhale and exhale, chin to chest, scoop those abdominals. Again, if you find that sticking point, you have to grab those thighs to work yourself through. Go for it. That's one. Last time you're doing this. 2. Oh, that foot wanted to pop up. This is not an easy exercise. So if you feel like, oh, you're struggling with it a little bit, I can guarantee you are not alone. Halfway through, again, I've said this the last 2 times we've done this. If you are going slower, I am okay with that. I'd rather have you really articulate and give me quality of movement over quantity, right? Nope. Reset. See, I cannot talk and do this exercise at the same time. There we go. Last one. Which goes to show, it is not an easy exercise. You guys probably know what we're doing next before I do. Leg pull up. No wonder I forgot it. You know, it's like we always block the things that we don't like. And as I said in the beginning, this is a challenging one for me, so no wonder I forgot it. So thinking about sending those legs long, opening up the front of that chest. No tension in that neck. Squeezing those glutes, you're gonna kick for 4. Breathing, 3, 2. Last one. Again, you don't have to do this on the foam roller. And back down, child's pose. So however wide or skinny you want to make your legs, however high or low your hips will go. And we're doing 8, just to kind of keep with consistency. But if you're at home and you get down at the bottom, you're like, oh, this just feels good to be at the bottom, then hang out there for a while. You're in your own home. I can't see you. I'm gonna go for 3 more. And as I'm coming up, I do want you to think about lifting that belly to bring you up, that you're activating that core, even though, or your abdominals, I kind of hate the word core, even though you're doing a stretch. Nice, we have one last one, which is our swan to swimming, our aquatic section, so to say. All right, so here we go. Pubic bone, hip bones down, belly lifted. Take a nice big inhale in. Exhale, draw those shoulder blades down the back of your ribs as you reach with the top of your head, coming up, finding that nice fold at the base of your shoulder blades. Belly's lifted. I'm thinking about my tailbone reaching long, so I'm not collapsing into my lower back, but I'm lengthening out of my lower back. And we're gonna go for opposites for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then rolling back down. Oh, you guys, you're so close. You're so close to being to the end. And whatever's coming next, you might love or hate even more. I'm not sure. All right, IT bands. We're gonna take the foam roller and we're gonna put it under one leg, right? And we have a couple of options here. We can stack our legs. If you get there and you're like, oh, I'm crying, then you can take that top leg and put it in front, right? And then you can kind of push into that front, or that foot that you just placed in front to kind of release the pressure. We're gonna roll in our IT band. So you wanna find this greater trochanter, this bony protrusion here, and then you're gonna roll on the side till you get to all the bony parts of your knee. So you wanna roll between the bony parts, but never on the bony parts, right? So we're gonna roll for 4, and as you're doing this, you want to get kind of a little bit back so I'm more on my hamstring, right? The point where it kind of attaches into my hamstring. I also want to roll a little bit forward so I'm getting more on the anterior part where I'm a little bit more on my quad. So we're going to go for 4 on that side. And then when I'm done with that side, right, I'm just going to switch on over to the other side. So I'm going to flip on over, and again, giving it about 4 rolls. Here I'm a little bit more anterior, so I'm getting more on that quad and IT band. Now I'm right directly on that IT band. Now I'm gonna go a little to the back, so I'm a little bit more on the IT band and hamstring. Whew. And that was more than 4, but I was rocking and rolling with it. We're gonna do glute means. So I'm gonna set myself up a little bit on a diagonal just so you can see me. You're gonna be on your back. And we're gonna put the foam roller underneath your sacrum, right? And you're gonna put your hands on the side of the foam roller just to kind of support yourself. Your knees are gonna be glued together and they're in line with your hips. So it's not a lazy tabletop, you're actually in tabletop. You're gonna take those legs, and my knees do not come unglued. And I'm gonna take them to the side, and then I'm gonna bring them back. So we're trying to get that foam roller kind of on all this fleshy part that's right underneath your hip crest, right? So that's where we're trying to get into. And then we're gonna go to the other side. We're gonna do 4 to each side. And again, I want to keep those knees together. I don't wanna see this happen, where the top knee slides off the bottom knee, right? So I'm gonna keep them stacked. That's 2 to that side. And 3. And again, if you kind of get there and you go, wow, take a little extra time there. Take an extra breath. Just because I'm cruising right along doesn't mean you have to. Nice, so those are your glute moves. And then we're going to do, upper back. So I'm gonna turn it this way. We're gonna do a couple. So now you're gonna take the foam roller, it's still perpendicular to your spine, but you're gonna kind of put it on your upper back. And the first one I'm gonna have you do is just support your head, but I'm gonna have you draw your elbows really close. And you're gonna roll on your upper back, right? So I don't want you getting up onto your neck, but you're kind of gonna roll. It should feel like you're rolling between your shoulder blades. We're gonna get 3 rolls like that. And then you're gonna go wide. So now it should feel like you're kind of rolling more on the top of your shoulder blades. And then I'm gonna have you reach overhead. And you can even let your head kind of relax. Be aware if you do have a ponytail that you can catch your ponytail or a hood underneath the foam roller. Oh, nice. All right, so we did the upper back. We're gonna kind of get into the armpit and all this musculature part back here. So that's the fun thing about being a fitness coach, is I get to show off my armpits on video. So for a better description, you're gonna think about your armpit and then you're gonna move past your armpit to this back part, all this muscular part on the back side of your armpit. So the easiest way to get into it is actually put your armpit on the foam roller and then you're gonna roll back a little bit, right? So I don't want you where you're really on your back. I don't want it so it's feeling where it's more back here. It really should just be the back side of your armpit. It's more your armpit than your back. So armpit, roll back slightly. I'm kind of rolling from the top of my humerus, my upper arm bone, kind of down the back side of that shoulder blade. And I usually have my clients stop before they kind of clunk over that shoulder blade. We're gonna go there. And then we're gonna switch over to the other side. A couple of years ago when I used to do the stretch, my arm would start shaking. This was a really hard foam rolling position for me. I was also using my arms for a lot of pulling exercises and maybe not doing the best job of stretching it out. All right, and your last one for the day, which will take us to our very end, is reach through. So again, we're gonna kind of come up to that child's pose quadruped position. You're gonna have one hand on the foam roller and you're gonna thread the other hand through. Right, so I'm gonna try to reach as far through with this as I can. And then I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna reach to the ceiling. And then I'm gonna reach through, sending that foam roller away. And then I'm gonna come up. And I'm really trying to stack, right, that whole rib cage. The more you sit those hips back, the more it will stabilize those hips. So we can get into that nice thoracic rotation. Nice. And then I'm just gonna switch over to the other side. So we'll do 4 to the other side. And reaching. last one. Nice. All right. Thank you for joining me today for your foam roller workout. I hope you started to turn on those abs, get a little bit of a sweat on. And for those of you who have hung out with us at Training to be Balanced, that's kind of a variation on a theme of our remixes class. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.